0 earlier in the season. Milan in the all-white strip today, and attacking the goal to our left. The first free kick of the game goes in their favour. This is Beret, who was back at the Italian side in midweek at their huge win over Malta. Indeed, to captain the side, Beret. Back after suspension, he was sent off at the recent international, the first one against Malta.
It's going to be interesting as well to see Latini playing up front, Peter. We've not seen Latini play through the middle. We've just seen him play on the left-hand side of the field, but he's through the middle today, and let's hope he goes not only to his left-hand side, but attacks to his right as well, because he does look as if he could be quite a potent force on his right-hand side.
Certainly had more of a freer role when he played for Torino, Latini. Much more restricted in the Milan side, playing to their system. Now Milan building positively here. Away though by Pasquale Bruno. Very much the hard man at the back. This is Aguilera. Had a barren spell when he failed to score for a while, Aguilera, but he's got 2 in the last 4 games now. And he's a nimble little front runner. Rather in contrast to the more forceful style of Casagrande. Cois with the first pass. This is Oniy. On towards Casagrande, and Beret able to clear. Aguilera turned very sharply then. Casagrande. The two combining well. Casagrande now threading it on. And a chance here, and a goal. Busi. 2 minutes gone, and what a cracking start for Torino. Roberto Busi.
What a fantastic goal that was, Pete. That was really, really good football from Aguilera and Casagrande. Aguilera dropping deeper to pick the ball up, playing a couple of 1-2s. There's the final pass from Casagrande inside of Ivani, and there's Busi just tucking it under Rossi as he comes out. But exceptional football. They've started off very well, Torino. They've gone at Milan, they've not allowed them to settle on the ball, and they've made it very tough for them. I think they obviously fancy their chances, and it's nice to see them score first, because now we've got to see Milan come out and attempt to win the game from being behind, and that should be very exciting.
Roberto Busi, his second goal of the season, and he had been doubtful for this game. Well, Torino will be delighted that he is playing. Just the start they were hoping for, and as Ray's saying there, it'll mean a different approach really from Milan. They can't sit back and just soak up any pressure. They'll have to go at them now. Aldini taking the throw. Busi, of course, scoring against his old club in Milan. He had a couple of seasons with Milan, and he was sent off against them in the match in the Massaro earlier in the season. So he's getting the headlines for the right reason this time. Beret. And the odds, I'm told, on Busi scoring the first goal were 50-1. So if you put a bet on him, you'll be well pleased. Maldini now. Ivani. Here's Beret. You could get odds, incidentally, on a 3-3 draw of 80-1. Well, maybe it's not so daft after all, Ray.
I don't think somehow we're going to get that, Peter, but the pattern of the game was already set out. They've got Torino gone in front, and there they are. They're prepared to sit back on their own penalty box and say to Milan, well, come on, come through us. If you break us down, all very well and good, but we're going to make it very difficult for you.
Ivani. So many changes in the Milan side over recent weeks because of injuries. Well, Mondonico could not have asked for more from his team. Rycart now. Certainly has had his problems with injuries throughout the campaign. He's missed 10 matches and all in Serie A this season.
I think if there's one club in world football, though, Peter, that can't really argue about injury problems, it has to be AC Milan. Their squad is absolutely packed out with internationals from all corners of the globe. And they can't really grumble. Every team has their injury problems, but I did see that Mr. Berlusconi was complaining the other week that they had a lot of injuries, but they've got enough players to cope with any sort of situation like that.
His reaction, incidentally, to the defeat last week, the President Berlusconi, was, I shall sack the coach. One defeated 58. I think he was joking. Sergio now. Casagrande hoping on the cross. He's very dangerous in the air too, the Brazilian. Wasn't too far away from that one. Although even such a huge player as Casagrande found himself towered over by Rossi. Foul by Bruno. Rijkaard now. Ivani. The shot was deflected and comfortably into the arms of Luca Marchigiani, who's the #2 goalkeeper in Italy behind Pagliuca of Sampdoria.
And he's had a very good season. I think the important thing for the viewers to watch is the way that Casagrande plays. He's a very, very big man, Casagrande, but he won't allow himself to be marked man for man. He comes deeper and picks balls up because he has the confidence in his own ability to play on the ground. And it's difficult for defenders when big guys come off and start to play. There he is, number 10. He won't allow himself to be picked up. But again, he's working defensively as well, and that's obviously a great benefit to the side.
Here's Maldini, now that to Ivani. Ivani once more. Maldini, as Milan try to work their passage towards goal. Haven't lost away from home, remember, all season. 8 wins and 3 draws. Off goes Sergio. Won't reach that one, though. Boban. Useful ball through. In search of Massaro. Ivani now. Prominent in the early stages. Ivani. But then given away by Boban. Aguilera. Here's Casagrande. Cois. Young man of enormous potential, Cois. Featured for the Italian under-21 side in the week. Here's Oniy. To Sati. Here's Latini. Getting whistled, of course, by the Torino fans. The world's most expensive player. And the Torino fans were most disgruntled when he was allowed to leave. Very much a hero, of course, with the side. Ivani. Now Maldini. Shooting chance here. Didn't get hold of it, but Rycart was lurking. And a poor shot almost turned into a very good pass.
Yes, it was a poor shot from Maldini. With the feet that he's got, he'd expect to get that on the target, and it flashes across, but there's only one person awake, and that's Rijkaard. He was a bit unfortunate not to get on the end of it. But it's been a good start, especially from the Torino side, and they're playing some nice football. A lot of good movement in the field. Well, I think we saw a couple of minutes ago Beret come flying out of the back to try and shake Milan up a bit and perhaps get in a tackle and get amongst the Torino players. And we do apologise for the picture break-up and hope it's not inconveniencing you too much. We'll put it right as soon as we can. Boban now for Milan. A goal down. Now this has got, I think the foot was high then. Yes, it was, and that is a rule in Italian football that they won't stand for. If the foot's raised, it's a free kick. But this is very unfortunate. It's a bad piece of control from Maldini. And in our football, that would have been allowed. And it's a bit of a shame we don't see a little bit more of that allowed, because there was no harm going to be done.
Venturet, the player who was penalised. To Sati. Rijkaard to Beret. Torino, who've left only Aguilera upfield, inviting Milan to come at them. Rycart now, so much revolves around him. This is Casagrande. Aguilera, former Genoa player, of course, Aguilera, where he had a very lethal partnership with Tomáš Skuhravý, the Czechoslovakian international. 51 goals between them in a couple of seasons. Aguilera not quite the same threat since his move to Torino, but nonetheless one of the best Uruguayans featuring in the Italian game over recent seasons.
Yes, he's a very talented player, and I honestly felt that with Enzo Scifo going into the same side as him, that he would score a lot more goals, because Schifo's a great creator of chances. But he hasn't done, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of it.
Costacurta, Oniy. Very tight defensively this season, Torino. Only 19 goals conceded. Beret, and that's a foul. Oh. The look from Beret says it all, I think, what he thought of that.
I think his elbow was high, but that could well have been his running style. Here we see him now, just going to get his... I think he did actually elbow him. I wouldn't have thought it would hurt him too much, but he's making a bit of a meal of it. But Beret was a bit naughty there. I think he would have come away with the ball anyway without having to do that.
Well, it was more than just a tickle, that's for sure. Galera down injured. Problem for Mondonico. I don't think they're swapping pleasantries.
I wouldn't have thought so. That was a great facial expression from Galera there, wasn't it?
He's a tough little character. Now, an Oniy, piratical figure at the back for Torino, taking the free kick. Oniy wearing 4 for Milan today. Albertini, who's had an injury, left on the bench today. Rycart now. And just to remind you, Roode also among the substitutes for Milan, so we may well see him at some stage later in the game. Rijkaard now. Massaro was challenging, and the free kick given to Torino. Just hearing of a goal in one of the other matches today. We will, of course, keep you posted on all the developments around the Italian scene. And it's Fiorentina 0, Cagliari 1. Capioli has scored the goal. And that's his 7th of the season. Capioli giving Cagliari the lead. Casagrande now, taking on Costacurta and doing well. And right across the face of the goal. And no one on the end of it from Torino's point of view.
Oh, that was a fantastic cross. He started the game in good fashion, Casagrande. Did ever so well. They're breaking down the left side. Basically a right-sided player, I think. He's gone past 2 players and got an exceptional cross.
Ambitious ball from Rijkaard in search of Latini. Linking well here with Evani. Boban. Oniy on the chase. We're trying to shake off Sergio, former Lazio player. And, well, surely that he was held back. That indeed is the linesman's decision, or is it? Oniy, whose presence really is keeping Hullet out of the side down this right touchline. And of course Hullet has had his problems too with fitness. And I think they're going to be keeping him back for the second leg of the Italian Cup semi-final against Roma in the week. Milan 2 goals down from the first leg. Torino also in the Cup semi-finals, and they drew 1 each with their great rivals Juventus in the first leg. So 2 important games coming up in the week for these 2 teams. Evani spreads it wide. Rijkaard now. Look to be handled. Play on though, says the referee. Wake up Sordo.
I think the longer the game continues like this, we might see the great man this afternoon, Peter. It's a long time since we've seen Hullet. He's a great player, and I'm sure not only the viewers at home, but we also like to see him perform.
Yes, he's missed the last 6 Serie A matches now, Roode Hullet, and he's only actually featured in 9 this season. Still managed to score 5 goals, though. That's a measure of the man. Fabio Capello, coach of Milan. This fantastic run that they had, finally broken last week. He was philosophical. It had to happen sometime, he said. And of course, hasn't really damaged their hold on the championship. Still with a 9-point lead over the other Milan club, Inter, at the top. Not too much for Marchegiani to do so far. 1 goal dividing the team, scored by Busi after only 2 minutes.
He'll be absolutely delighted as well, Peter. It's always nice to score against the side that you've just left. And I think we could see the delight on Busi's face as he turned away.
This is Costacurta. Looking for Maldini. Did well to keep it in play, but couldn't escape the attentions there of Busi, the goal scorer. And also Sordo, who'd come across. And it's a goal kick to Torino. And after that goalless draw with Milan back in November in the San Siro, they won only one of their next 9 games, Torino, but they found their form again recently. And Oniy. This is Maldini. Now off goes Busi. But chasing back though by Boban. But not that time. That was a foul by the Croatian. Boban, who's not been a regular in the side for Milan, thinks he should be. And he's certainly done well the occasions we've seen him, right?
Yes, he has. He's done very well. But he, unfortunately for him, he plays in a very similar position as Rycart. And I'm sure if both of them are fit, then the decision of Capello would be to go for Rijkaard.
Vettori to Aguilera, working very hard. And Oniy now. Busi. And off Ivani for a Torino throw. A really bright start by Torino. Block throw by Oniy. Here's Casagrande. Didn't quite fall for him though. Immediately surrounded by those white-shirted Milan defenders. And Oniy. Busi was onside. Support from Vettori. Too close though to Rossi. Plucks that one out of the air as Aguilera came in, and he had no chance of out-jumping the goalkeeper, Aguilera. It's a crescendo of noise every time Latini is anywhere near the ball.
That was good defending from Bruno. He obviously knows Latini very, very well indeed, and Latini was trying to square him up to run him down the line, but Bruno was having none of it.
Latini himself has been saying this week he's very calm about it all. He's rather a shy character. Of course, he was looking forward to the game and just hoping he could impress. But he's got a very hot reception from the crowd so far. Vettori up towards Aguilera. Fortunato. Casagrande now. This is Boban for Milan. Rijkaard. Strolling figure in the Milan side, Rijkaard. Boban now. Not a bad ball, finding Ivani. And it came off Oniy with Latini threatening.
It was interesting to see Marcagiani actually looked at the referee and asked him if he could pick the ball up. He just cannoned off on Oniy, and the referee was correct in saying yes, you can.
Referees seem to have different interpretations of the rule. It does cause confusion. So Marcagiani was taking no chances. Casagrande there, who's got only the 1 goal in 14 matches, but his contribution all round has been impressive.
Yes, I'm sure he'd be disappointed with his goal tally full stop, Peter. He's only on 4 goals for the season, and he would be disappointed with that. But in saying that, Torino haven't really been the attacking force they would like to have been. Defensively been exceptional, but attacking-wise not so good.
Yes, as I was saying earlier on, the combination with Aguilera not quite hit the heights they were hoping. But nonetheless, they're 2 outstanding individual players. And Oniy. This is Vettori. Very consistent player for Torino over the past couple of seasons, Vettori. As Fortunato goes down. Former Juventus player Fortunato. Almost at the halfway point in the first half. Torino is still leading by a goal to nil, and the first yellow card of the game too there.
Yeah, that's his second
Tackle.
foul. That's
Yeah.
his second clumsy tackle. I think Boban obviously wants to impress and stay in the side, but he's put in a couple of unnecessary challenges and he's got himself booked.
Turin. Costacurta in the middle. Couldn't reach it though. Oniy to tidy up at the back. Good first time ball played by Rossi too.
Bit of an asset when the goalkeeper can do that.
There's a few struggling this season with that.
Yeah, there are, but if you actually assess the surface they're playing on as well, it looks like a bowling green. It looks absolutely magnificent.
Good turn then by Latini, taking on Bruno. Couldn't make more of it though. And just listen to the reception from the crowd.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? He didn't actually want to leave Turin, and he was sold, obviously, for 13 million. They couldn't really turn it down. But we've seen him a couple of times now on the right-hand side of the field, and he seems a lot more at home there. Milan do persist on playing him on the left side. And it was interesting to note, although the cross went behind the goal, he crossed at pace. And when he plays on the left-hand side of the field, he slows down to hit the ball in with his, what we would call his swinger, his left foot. So actually looking at Latini, he would be more suited to the right-hand side of the field.
Yeah, the price tag is very unfair, really. He's not a bad player at all, Latini. He hasn't shone as much for Milan as they were hoping, obviously. 13 million, well, it's a ridiculous figure.
It happens to a lot of players. There's a lot of players that, if they're the big fish in the pool, they really perform to a very high standard. He's gone into a side where everybody's a star, and he's found it quite difficult.
Boban now. This is more like it from Milan. Oniy. Boban went down, clutching his ankle then. Oni's cross. And a good save then by Accusation. And there, Boban in difficulties. Just caught by the tackle from young Cois.
Yeah, it was a nasty challenge. He looks as if he might have twisted his knee there.
Yeah, it was his ankle at first. Looks like the knee, though. Here's another goal just coming in. Napoli have taken the lead against Atalanta. The goal from Policano. And Cagliari a goal up away to Fiorentina. Those are the only goals so far, apart from the one in this game, scored by Busi. And a yellow card for Cois, who played against Milan in the San Siro earlier in the season, did very well. And they have very high hopes for the future of him. Turin. Maldini towards Latini. Sordo though was there. Sordo in the sweeper role with Luca Fusi still out through injury. Fortunato. They really are setting about their task with a great deal of urgency, Torino. And certainly matching Milan so far.
Wasn't that a fantastic piece of skill from Aguilera? That really was talent at the highest class.
Player of great technique, Carlos Aguilera. Can't be a volatile character, but when he's in the mood, very useful player. Latini now, Rycart. Oniy with the cross. Just too long, though, for Ivani.
It's a poor cross. He's got time to look up. The defender didn't put him, I think it was Sergio there, didn't put him under any pressure, and Oniy just totally he cleared the whole penalty area. It was a very poor cross.
Ivani. This is Massaro. Now Boban. Massaro. And Sergio away, finding Aguilera. Nimbly done. Turin spreading it wide, but failing to combine with Sergio. To Sati. Latini, released by Bruno. And he's forced the corner.
Yeah, the one problem that Torino are facing at the moment, because Casagrande and Aguilera are prepared to work so hard defensively for the team, they're having to go sideways all the time because not one of them is up front and giving them an option to play the ball forward.
It'll be Ivani with the corner then for Milan. 25 minutes gone in the first half. Way by Sergio. Now to Sati. Ivani. Whipping the ball in, got a flick on then too. Casagrande once more back there helping out his defenders. Oniy. Milan with plenty of possession, but no real cutting edge so far up front. Maybe they'll find some now. Massaro trying to wriggle himself into a shooting position. Ivani, Boban, very quickly closed down then. And in fact, the free kick's been given for the tackle by Sordo.
Yeah, it was out like a shot, Sordo. It didn't look that bad a challenge, actually. Oh, in saying that...
Well, pretty fierce, Ray.
Yeah, in saying that...
You wouldn't have liked it.
I wouldn't have got anywhere near that. In saying that, the referee did very well. But that was the first cross of real quality that we've seen Milan hit in, that one from Ivani. And it just goes to show that the chaos you can cause by delivering the good ball.
Now, Marcagiani organising the racks ahead of him. Boresi organising the set piece. Ivani is there, and Boban, who is pretty useful on free kicks. Casagrande back in that defensive wall. He's got 3 Milan players at the front of the wall. The referee wants it further back anyway.
I can't believe the distance he's taking them back. That looks a long way from the ball.
It's Boban. Well over the bar, but not too far away then from Boban.
I don't think the wall would have been any use anyway. It looked a long way away. Well, that's a good effort from Boban. He hit that very well. And we could see from that shot there, it was just turning in at the very last moment.
Boban still looking for his first goal of the season for Milan, having returned to the club from Bari. News of more goals now, just coming in. It's Parma 1, Foggia 0. And that's a goal from the Swedish international Thomas Brolin. And it's Brescia 0, Roma 1. And it's Claudio Caniggia, the Argentine, who has given his team the lead. Costacurta to Boban. Quickly closed down by Turin. Maldini now. Difficult ball for Latini to deal with.
I think the problem Torino face is the fact that Milan, with all the possession they have, they will eventually create a chance. Torino seem quite happy just to sit back and soak it all up. But I can assure you, the longer the game goes on and they keep playing the same way, allowing Milan to have so much possession of the ball in those sort of areas, they will eventually get their chance.
Maldini. Latini now, caught though by Bruno. Well, he was late then, Ray.
It was a very clever dummy. Latini actually moves to the ball, Bruno goes with him and he lets it run across his body. A very clever dummy. Bruno fell lock, stock and barrel for it, and I think we're going to see our third booking of the match.
And Bruno's 10th of the season. Some record that, 10 yellow cards for Pasquale Bruno. Probably going to be number 1, he admits he is, in Italian football. A nice guy off the field.
Yes, very pleasant chap.
You know him well.
I think footballers are all pleasant chaps off the field.
Ivani cutting over the free kick. I think you played against Bruno a few times.
Yes, a couple of times, yeah. It's a shame we all have to change once we're on it.
To Sati. Oniy. It's not a bad ball back at all. And very nearly a Milan chance fashioned there. Away by Busi. Marcagiani was struggling on the cross. Costacurta. Albertini. Still no save required from the Torino goalkeeper. Ivani. Again, all too comfortable for Marchegiani.
Very good cross from Iranio getting to the dead ball line, but it was good defending from Torino. If you can't actually stop the first one, then you've got to defend on the second one, and they defended it very well and managed to get the ball away.
Sergio. Aldini. Now then for Baresi. Again, Torino defenders just backing off. Baresi's pass through. Just getting news that Inter have taken the lead against Pescara. And it's Ruben Sosa, the Uruguayan international. That's his 11th of the season. And Roma are 2-0 up away to Brescia. The second goal from Mihailovic. His first ever goal in Serie A. Baresi to Costacurta. Wasted pass though. Boban. Iranio to Boban. Danger for Torino here. Galera hustled out of it, but again that Torino defence standing firm, although the free kick has been given to Milan as Costacurta tried to force his way through.
Yes, that was good interception from Costacurta. He read Aguilera's control of the ball, nipped in front of him. But that's the second time in the space of, what, 2 or 3 minutes that Milan have got in there on that right-hand side. And as I said before, if they keep defending as deep as this, then Milan are going to get their opportunity. And now we find them in a very, very dangerous situation on the edge of the penalty area.
They really are saying to Milan, you come at us and we'll just soak it up. But can they? Well, let's see what Milan have in store here from this free kick. Aldini and Sati have parked themselves in the wall. Maybe Rycart might try one from here. Ivani there too. There's a few bodies in that wall, and the shot didn't get through from Ivani. Latini now, as the whistles will tell you. And he's let himself down again.
Well, it shows that Latini is a wide player and not an out-and-out centre-forward. Had that been a Papin or Van Basten, he wouldn't have taken the ball out of the penalty area. There's always a danger when he's in the penalty area. He can't be touched. But as soon as he took it out of the box, they closed him down very quickly. He took it on his left side, where he may be better off coming on his right side again, and the chance was lost.
Another injury as Latini goes through. Almost fell that for Boban. Sergio, I think it was, who cleared it away. And there's a body on the halfway line. Not sure who it belongs to.
I think it's Fortunato, yeah, I think so. Been an interesting half though, hasn't it? It's Torino just sitting there trying to hit Milan on the break. Very difficult for them to do at the moment because they've got no one up front. Everybody's working so hard defensively. And there you have Milan, very controlled football, not getting in too many quality balls once they get around the box to cause the Torino defence that many problems.
What's he saying, Mondonico, the coach? You speak Italian?
I was too busy talking. I wasn't listening to him, I do apologise.
Now, while that's going on, Signori has scored for Lazio. Paul Gascoigne's side. Gascoigne, of course, not in the side because of England's match coming up in the week against Turkey. It's 21st of the season, Signori, for Lazio today. And that's against Udinese. Baresi forward. Ivani. Don't think that was intended. Venturin now. And he's given it away very carelessly to Sati. Costacurta. Ivani with Boban. Now Baresi. Galera battling back at him and got caught in the process. That's their second tangle of the game.
Yeah, a bit of frustration there from Franco Baresi, realising things aren't going that well. Bad first touch, or bad decision he made trying to go past Aguilera. Little Uruguayan was very, very sharp, and Baresi just lunged at him to give away the free kick.
10 minutes of the first half to go. Still Torino a goal up, thanks to Musi's strike, with only 2 minutes gone. Another free kick to Torino, as Cois goes down. So Milan's turn to defend now. Fortunato with Venturin. Casagrande. Here's Busi, outsmarted though by Maldini, who's having such an outstanding season for Milan, and indeed for the Italian national team too. Rarely has a bad game, Paolo Maldini. And he's played in more competitive games this season than any other Milan player.
I think if there's a better defender in world football, I've not seen him, Peter. He really does look the finished article now, Maldini.
Ivani's cross, not a particularly good one though, but now Massaro. And just look at all those Torino players back behind the ball defending. Costacurta now invited to come forward. Has support from Boban. Milan prepared to be patient in probing for the right opening. Baresi to Maldini. Rijkaard on the edge of the box here. They're going to get his header back, but the whistle's gone. In fact, it was a push then by Frank Rijkaard. Not that he thought so.
I looked a bit 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. He's surrounded by 3 Torino players. He's only challenged for the ball. But he's pushing forward a lot more now, Rijkaard, trying to get in on that back post for those angle balls in. Boban's doing most of the playmaking for the Milan side.
Here's Busi. Movement from Aguilera ahead of him. Casagrande now, turned sharply then Casagrande. Here's Busi. Baresi comes across. Oh, and Rossi was struggling then on the cross. Aguilera too at the far post coming in. Something will let off for Milan. Excellent cross then by Busi. Sergio now. And off to Sati for the corner.
Yeah, Rossi was found wanting actually in the Milan goal. It was a good cross from Busi. Good football again from Casagrande. And it just goes to show what sort of chaos you can cause if you get in quality crosses. There we go again with Busi. Rossi didn't really get off the floor to push that away. And Aguilera, had he used his left foot, may have turned it back across the goal, but he chose his right foot instead.
Aguilera with the corner. And the shot rifles wide. I mean, he's a real giant, Rossi, but even he couldn't reach the cross from Busi. And the warning signs were up for Milan then. And when they have come forward, they've certainly caused problems, Torino.
Yes, they have, and that could be a source for Milan to equalise as well. If Torino come forward, then there must be gaps at the back, which Latini and Massaro can work upon. But it was an interesting corner from Aguilera there, as he played it in. I think we saw the whole of the Milan defence marshalled by Baresi push up, and had the volley gone in, it may well have been called offside.
Aguilera with support from Venturin. Away from Boban, but not from Costacurta. Now Maldini. Latini. As ever, Bruno is with him. Still Latini. To Sati. Feeding Aranio. And the header was Ivani.
Yes, Sergio's got to get a lot tighter on Iranio. He's okay, he's matching him for pace down the line, but as soon as Iranio turns inside, he doesn't get tight at all. And I think we just saw the complete contrast when Costacurta was defending. As I think it was Venturin took it wide, Costacurta closed him down, got tight enough so he couldn't move, and we even had Boban trying to win the ball back in front of him. But Sergio's got to get a lot tighter when Iranio gets down that right side. And
Oniy. Here's Aguilera. 5 minutes of the first half to go. Oniy pumping it forward. Nobody upfield though for Torino. As Rossi collects to Sati now. Rijkaard. Just creating that little bit of room for himself. Exquisite piece of skill by Rijkaard. Now Latini. Back off Bruno. Casagrande back defending again. Gets through some work as Casagrande. Oniy. To Sati. Tini back into the danger zone, but safely into the welcoming arms of Luca Marcagiani, who has the best record of any goalkeeper in Serie A over the past 2 seasons. Torino had the best defensive record in the Italian league in the last campaign too. Rycart now. Bruno was there. And Sordo too. It's good play there by Sordo. Great friend of Latini, incidentally. Took over his role in the side earlier in the season, but he's got the sweeper's role today. Now Busi. And Sordo and Latini actually came up through the youth ranks together. This is Sordo now. But again, no one able to chase onto that one. Costacurta. Here's to Sati. Now 33 years old, still going strong. Such a valuable member of the Milan defence.
I think Torino will be happy to see the half out now. That's the last 3 passes forward that have just been booted anywhere, just to get it out and see half time in.
Costacurta through. This is Boban. Rycart couldn't get a shot in. Maldini. Boban. Away from Cois. It's Rycart now. In the fulcrum of the Milan side. Away by Sordo.
We just saw there as well, Latini. Balls are being played into Latini, but he's not getting hold of them, and it's a bit of a shame really from his point of view and Milan's point of view, because he's being marked by Bruno. Now Bruno's already been booked. If Latini could get hold of the ball and have a go at him, Bruno obviously won't be able to touch him too much. Here we see him on the ball now, and Bruno very close to him.
Again, no way through, but maybe a race he can open something up. Latini's pass wasn't a good one though, dealt with too easily by Sergio. This is to Sati. Aguilera is the only man upfield for Torino. Beautifully done then by Maldini. Such a graceful player. Beret now. Rijkaard. It's not a bad ball. Maldini was on the end of it. There with it was Sordo, who's done well at the back. Certainly don't think Torino were at home though. Rijkaard now. Almost at the end of the first half. We're into the last minute. And it's Milan who are finishing the half on the stronger note. Frustration for Capello that his team are trailing. Created too many genuine chances, you have to say, for all their possession. Beret now. Bruno. Time for Turin. Just looking among the substitutes, Ray, Aldo Sereno there too, of course, for Milan. Maybe we'll see him at some stage, and I would certainly think Hullet will come on.
Yes, I would have thought so too. Sereno obviously gives them the other option. He's a tall guy, tall centre forward, and he gives them the chance of getting in some balls high into the box. Hopefully they can get some knockdowns.
Rijkaard. Just a little bit of time for the referee to add on for injuries. As Sergio goes forward now. Quickly confronted though by Costacurta.
And I would imagine we'll see Hulud as well, Peter. He's obviously itching to get on the park. He's not played for a while. A little run out will do him the world of good. And this is a good game to get him back into as well.
Fortunato. This is Turin. Albertini spotted the run then of Ivani. Beret. Still time for Milan to conjure something up before the end of the first half. But not this time. Almost a minute now played of time added on for injuries. Costacurta whistles for the Torino fans. They want the half to end. Here's Boban. Away by Oniy. And Rycart. Well, that would have been very interesting if that one had got through. Deflected on the way as Rijkaard holds his head. Struck it well.
He struck it fantastic. This is a great volley. Look at the shape of it, look. And I think he's very disappointed that that was deflected, as we saw his reaction afterwards.
Well, it certainly looked as if it would have been on the target. Well, there's Roode going through his paces. I'm sure he won't be on before half-time, but maybe he'll start the second half. We'll have to wait to see. Here's the corner for Milan. Accusation had it covered all the way.
Yes, and good awareness as well. He knew no one was coming in on the back, and instead of attempting the catch and may fumble, he's let it go, and it's a goal kick. I've been very impressed with Accusation. He looks as if he wants to come for crosses, and that's something we don't often see in Italian football. Goalkeepers that are really prepared to come out and relieve their defence with a catch from a cross.
2 minutes of injury time played, and there is the end of the first half. And the early goal from Roberto Busi has given Torino the lead. The goal clocked just on for Milan. But certainly the chances are we shall see him at some stage in this second half, I would think. This is Costacurta. Long periods of pressure really from Milan, but without any penetration. Too many chances came their way. Torino defending in numbers and defending well. Latini confronted by 3 Torino defenders. And it's a goal kick to Torino. Just keeping you up to date with other scores. Ancona 0, Juventus 0, Brescia 0, Roma 2, Caniggia and Mihailovic. Fiorentina 0, Cagliari 1. That's Capioli. That game being played on a neutral ground today. Verona, because of trouble in a recent match at Fiorentina. Inter are a goal up against Pescara. That's Ruben Sosa. Lazio 1, Udinese 0, Signori. Napoli a goal up against Atalanta from Policaro. Just stay with the action here for a moment as Tini tries to forge a path to goal. Parma 2 up at home to Foggia. Brolin and Aspria, the man who got the winner against Milan last week, Aspria. And it's Torino 1 then, Milan 0 in Turin. Those all the half-time scores. Boban's corner. Another good claim by Accusation.
That's very well taken by Accusation. It's quite evident the respect that the Torino players have for Latini. Not only does he have his man-for-man marker when he receives the ball, but they double up, and even on 2 occasions now at the start of the second half, they've even been trebling up on him and making sure he goes nowhere.
3 home defeats suffered by Torino this season. Against Inter, Juve, of course that on this ground. Against the team that also shares it with them, Juventus, and they also lost at Napoli. But they're ahead in this one. And Milan still have a lot to do. Iranio. Casagrande. Swapping passes with Aguilera. Now Sergio taking over. Strong attacking defender, Sergio. And he's given the chance to come forward. He's claiming the corner. Milan say goal kick. The referee is in accord with Milan.
Very good defending from Costacurta there. Sergio bursting forward. Wouldn't commit himself. Just waited and waited and waited until he had the opportunity to make a tackle. Didn't go to the floor, because once you go to the floor, then you're dead. You've not got a chance. You can't get back up and have a go at him. But he stood his ground, stood up on his feet and started closing him down the earliest opportunity he had, and defended very well.
To Sati. This is Costacurta now. Rested for the Italians match in midweek. Left on the bench by Arrigo Sacchi. Now Latini's cross. It's a very deep one though. Maldini. Again, far too close to Marchigiani. Got three outstanding young keepers now. Pagliuca, Marchigiani and Peruzzi have the Italians. Peruzzi of Juventus, Pagliuca of Sampdoria. And Pagliuca is the favourite #1 choice at the moment, but Marchigiani and Peruzzi certainly aren't too far behind him.
Yes, they're very well off for good goalkeepers, Peter, aren't they? And we just saw the man Hulit there warming up. He'd have been warming up all through half-time break as well. And it looks as if we may see
Bruno or miss kick, and he was lucky to get away with that then. Costacurta to Rycart.
He'll claim that was a great bit of skill.
I'm not going to argue with him. To Sati. There's Costacurta driving it through. Another miss kick, this time by Oniy. Didn't cross the line, just kept in by Marchigiani. One or two nervous signs shown then by those Torino defenders who were so resolute in the first half. Gave absolutely nothing away. Rossi's long clearance upfield. Free kick given against Milan. There's Roode Hullet. Also Albertini there. Albertini, who played for the Italians against Malta in the week, and played well too. Bruno. Sergio, who's actually back in the side today after injury. Had a good first half. It's Sergio now. Left Lazio after a dispute with the club. And Torino were only too pleased to take him on. How's that for a Roman nose? Auto to Sati. Very much a feature now of this side in Milan. No real punch up front from Milan today, Ray.
No, that's right, and it's not often we see Milan resort to these tactics as well, hitting balls in from that sort of angle. For the likes of Massaro and Latini, they normally prefer their slower build-up, or when they get the opportunity, their quicker build-up through people, but they don't often throw the ball away as they have been doing this afternoon.
Casagrande couldn't get through. Flags up, Sergio. The referee right on the spot.
Well, that was very close, as we saw before. Just beforehand, before Casagrande was trying to dribble through, Baresi had them all flying out at him, but it was Iranio that had dropped off and nearly played him offside, and I think Baresi gave him a bit of a lashing with his tongue.
Latini. Well, it's a risky game, the offside trap. Milan don't get caught out with it too often. But it has been costly in the past. Latini with the header. Just nicked away. Now Roode Hullet is about to make his entrance for Milan. Costacurta. Iranio may be the man to come off. This is Iranio here. I think it will be now.
What a wasted cross. That was another opportunity for Iranio to really hurt Torino. They stood off him again. He had the opportunity to pick where he wanted to put the ball and stuck it straight in Marchigiani's hands. Very poor.
Galera, the offside flag is raised though. Now, number 15, Roode Hullet. One of the most famous figures in world football. And it is indeed Aranio who is coming off. Right. Swapping positions, really. So no tactical change made by Capello.
No, I would imagine Hullet will just come out and play on the right-hand side in Aranio's place. And hopefully they'll get in a bit more quality. Now we've got Albertini coming on.
And he is...
And Ivani coming on.
Ivani.
No, Ivani really hasn't been that effective down the left-hand side. He's been in and out of the team all season. Obviously a very talented player, but really hasn't had one of his better games today. As could be said for Aranio as well. Albertini, as you said, in sparkling form, Peter. And he'll be in there to prompt him as well. They've got three terrific prompters now in Albertini, Rycart and Boban.
And intriguingly, Albertini has never featured on the losing side for Milan in a competitive match. Away by Sergio, not too far though.
Well, that's quite unbelievable. I didn't realise that. To have never played on a losing side for your club team is, and considering he's played a few games as well, that's quite a remarkable feat.
Well, Parma aren't finding it difficult to score today. They're 3 up against Foggia. Melli has got the 3rd goal there. Melli, who played for the Italian national team in the week, played extremely well. Here's to Sati. It's a useful ball in towards Hullet. Now to Sati arriving. Latini, cannon off a defender, and it's a corner to Milan.
Yeah, you can see the fear in the Torino defence now as that ball came in. There was only one person going to win it, Hullet, and Sati was covering very well to get in there and pick up the pieces. But that's a bit better from Milan. We saw a bit of a better cross. I think it was Boban that got the ball in, doing a little jink down the left-hand side. Good crossing with his left foot. And they had an occasion where it could have developed into a goal-scoring opportunity.
And Oniy is the player down injured. And Mondonico has really brought on Onuy's game over the past couple of seasons. Very important defender for them. Now they're going to make a switch here, Torino. Sotil is a defender, so maybe it is Oniy who's going to come off. Andrea Sotil. Just 19 years old, only made his Serie A debut against Foggia back in December.
I think it's Coes coming off, Peter.
Yeah. So Coes, who's something of a utility player, can play at the back or midfield, has gone off. Sotil is an out-and-out defender. And I think they expect to do a bit of defending in the second half. Marcagiani taking it well.
He's taken it very well. He didn't have any protection from his defenders. They just allowed Maldini to have a free run on him, and he kept his eye on the ball and took a very clean catch.
Costacurta. Laid off by Hullet to Latini, drifting around one tackle, still Latini. And then a dreadful pass, really. Casagrande able to clear. That wasn't too clever either. So the pressure stays on Torino. To Sati's throw. Albertini. Excellent ball in, and what a finish by Roode.
I think that's what we've been talking about all the time, the quality of the cross. Albertini doesn't mess about, they don't close him down. He whips in a wonderful cross. There it goes. Beautiful cross coming away from Marcagiani, and what a header from Hullet. Gave Marcagiani no chance. There he is, look at the power he gets into that. Dreadlocks and all, that's a great goal.
And What an inspired double substitution by Fabio Capello, the coach of Milan. Albertini comes on and lays on the goal for the other substitute, Roode. 57 minutes gone, Torino 1, Milan 1.
I know they've only been on a couple of minutes as well, but you could actually sense in the Milan play that they'd picked up the pace of the game. They looked slightly livelier in the last couple of minutes, and obviously Hullet will be delighted with that.
It really was a stunning finish then by Roode, his 6th goal of the season. A campaign he has, of course, been affected so often by injuries in. Albertini, who supplied the pass. Maldini now. There'll be a new zip to Milan's play in the second half, having equalised now. And it'll be interesting to see how Torino react. They've sat back for most of the game, having taken that shock early lead. Will they go for the win, or will they just content themselves with keeping the scoreline as it is now?
That's a waste as well, because now Milan have brought on Hullet. They're a very, very big team going forward from set pieces. And if you're not getting the quality in there, then nothing's going to develop. And that was a poor cross from a player of Boban's class.
Boban there claiming the throw. Referee says no. That's taken by Victorin for Torino. Rycart.
He's looked as if he's needed the game this afternoon, Rijkaard. He hasn't really been his usual self, but I think he has a very similar style to Boban, and perhaps occasionally they get in each other's way. But he'll be better for having the match this afternoon and looking forward to the cup game against Roma.
Yes, Capello says it's so important for us to have Rijkaard in the side. Just to see him out there is a real lift, he says. I'm sure he'll feel the same too about Hullet, the way he started. 2 of the Dutchmen on there now for Milan. The third one, Marco van Basten, well, his comeback has been delayed, and it'll be a while yet before he wears the Milan shirt again.
And that is a great shame, because I suppose as far as centre-forwards go, Van Basten must be the finest centre-forward in world football. So the sooner he's back, I'm sure Capello will be a lot happier.
Guess he's due to be back in action towards the end of April now, Van Basten. I wonder if he'll be back in time for the England match against Holland. Yes. Sordo. England will hope not.
I hope he is. It's nice to beat the Dutch when they're at full strength, and I'm sure the lads will go out there and give Holland a good canning.
Well said, Ray. Drilled in by Latini, to no great effect though.
No, again a poor cross, but the game has livened up, and that's what it needed, was that Milan equaliser. There's the man. Let's hope he's fit for when England meet the Dutch side.
6 goals in only 10 appearances, Roode, for Milan this season. Still some speculation about where he'll be next season, but for the moment, very much a Milan player, and relishing this opportunity to show what he's made of. I think he always feels he's on trial now when he plays for Milan.
I think that's a similar situation to the majority of their strangers, though, Pete. I think there's only Van Basten and perhaps Rijkaard that can safely say that they are permanent fixtures in the side, and the other place has to be fought for by the other 4 guys, and it's a difficult situation because they're all world-class players in their own right.
Off ahead of Casagrande, here's Busi. Plenty of time here for Paresi. Off goes Maldini, found expertly then by Maldini's pass, and then it bobbles up kindly for Paolo Maldini.
Yes, not the Maldini that we've come to know and love as a footballer. I think Massaro for once was giving him a little G-up as well, saying don't worry about it, let's get on with it. And that seems to be the spirit now. They seem to have picked up a little bit and playing with a bit more pace about them.
Sordo to Turin. Busi. Away though by Beret. Massaro went well. Sordo was caught out there. Now there's danger. Latini sprinting through. Still Latini! And Hullet just couldn't apply the finishing touch.
That was a great run from Latini. He takes on the final defender, Sordo. No, it's not, it's Bruno, sorry. And whips in a great ball, and I don't think Hullet was anticipating the cross and didn't actually make a move for it, but they were very fortunate, Torino, there. Great play from Massaro, unloading Sordo on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry.
All stemmed from Sordo's mistake. Casagrande, now then to Sergio. An escape for Torino. What can they create now at the other end? Still Sergio. Really poor service though. Loves to attack down this left-hand side, but couldn't supply the cross.
You have not seen him do it too much this afternoon, but no. Again it was Sati was blocking off both avenues, defending well against him. Not going to ground again, which is very important for you young defenders out there, to keep on your feet and put the onus on the forward to do all the attacking.
This is Costacurta for Milan. 1-1 in Turin. To Sati. Good running then by Albertini. Boban with the cross, and Oniy rather scuffed his attempted clearance. Massaro still working so hard, but Aguilera now wins it back. Still in play. And how cool Beret was then. So composed. Latini. Gets accused of being a bit lazy, Latini, and that's one accusation that he takes exception to. Doesn't mind what else they say about him. Maldini's cross. Bullet was in there again.
And it was quality again, Peter. That was the thing about it. Maldini's whipped in a beautiful cross, coming away from Marcogiani, not giving him the chance to come out and use those good hands that he's got. And it was Hullet's over-enthusiasm to get above Oniy which brought about the free kick.
But no doubt at all, Torino are worried by the presence of Roode. It's made a real difference to Milan. Now, news of another goal. And it's good news for Paul Gascoigne if he's watching this game. It's Lazio 2, Udinese 0. Signori with the first goal, and Thomas Doll has added a second there for Lazio. Lazio in third place, same points tally as Torino before the start of today's games. All, of course, with the England team preparing for the match against Turkey in the week. Beret now. Here's Albertini. Now Costacurta. Here's Hullet. Now then for Sati. Hullet. Taking on Sergio, who held it back.
So strong the man, he just burst past a couple of them there, but I think he thought he was going to lose possession, tumbled into him and went over.
So Milan still taking the game to Torino. Albertini, first time ball in search of Rycart, now Hullet. Here's Casagrande.
I think above all, Albertini's the one that's pepped him up a bit. He doesn't want to lose that undefeated tag that he's got with playing with Milan, and he really has started to inspire them. He's getting over at 1 and 2 touch, moving the ball quick and making others play, and he's been quite inspirational since he's come on.
Really mobile player, Albertini. Hullet with the header. Casagrande. It's Boban now, finding Hullet. Almost got the better then of Oniy. Got his cross in anyway, Hullet. And he's run it back again now. The mistake by Sordo. Was there a trip? Play goes on. Hullet appeals in vain towards the referee. And they've got away with it, have Torino. The break is on now. Casagrande. Aguilera scampering away down the middle. Turin. Back by Albertini. Rycart.
I think that's the closest thing we're going to get to a penalty anyway. They seem petrified of Hullet. The passing was atrocious. He did ever so well to intercept the ball, moved into the box, and it definitely looked as if someone had made contact with him.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that again in a moment. Here's Beret now. Imperiously forward. Hullet, Beret. Much more like it now from Milan. Albertini. Cut out by Busi. Aguilera. And I think that then came off Maldini for a throw to Torino. It was a defensive error that allowed Hullet in for that chance. Was it a penalty? Hullet thought so. Well, in fairness, he didn't take his protest too far. And the referee just turned away. Aguilera with Bruno now coming forward. Here's Sergio. They've got 4-5 up in this attack. Sergio's cross. Casagrande! Well saved then by Rossi. The flag, I would think, was up anyway. Not a bad header, though, right?
Fantastic header. What a technique that is. Good save from Rossi. As soon as they delayed and Casagrande made a move, I think you'll find Baresi had them up like a shot. And offside he was.
Rycart.
But nevertheless, it goes to show if Torino really want to, they can come out and create chances. And with players like Aguilera and Casagrande, they must have opportunities to score goals.
It's just a fear factor. They don't like committing too many players forward. And certainly not since Hullet's come on. Albertini, now Boban, another mistake, this time by Sergio. Latini. In goes Massaro, and Bruno was able to clear, but only just. And that wouldn't have gone down too well with the Torino fans if Latini had scored.
No, it was a poor touch, a poor first touch. He took it on his thigh, but instead of, I would have thought, taking it to his strong side, his right side, he took it on his left side and didn't have the ability to put it in on his left foot.
He's played nervously. Rijkaard! Fantastic shot by Frank Rijkaard. Well, he was so close in the first half, but one which was deflected wide. This one got through and off the post.
My goodness, what a fantastic shot. Marcogiani was nowhere with that one. That really was a good effort from Rijkaard. But it is all Milan at the moment, and if they can keep this sort of pressure up, then I think their chance will come.
Marcogiani beaten by the shot, and the post came to his rescue. Hullet wins it yet again in the air. My word, he's made a difference. Costacurta forward. Now Rycart, Boban. Marcogiani under threat from Massaro.
Very good goalkeeping, because I don't think Massaro is offside.
Maldini. Couldn't brush off Aguilera.
That's good.
Challenge was illegal.
That's good defending from Aguilera. He's got after Maldini. Maldini's big, he's strong, and he's quick. But Aguilera wasn't having none of it. He got after him, and he put in a good challenge there. It's very unfortunate to have that called against him.
Well, the referee saw it differently. Still Torino being picked back here to Sati. In towards Hullet, who'd shown for him. Now Boban. Casagrande. Aguilera. Well cut out though by Albertini. Sergio, little slip, almost let Hullet in. And then his foul on Casagrande.
Somehow I don't think it's hurt him that much. The big fella's not the one to start dishing out all the stick. He just goes for the ball and catches him. It's
Casagrande, big house, it means. Won't
yes.
surprise you, will it?
Yes, it would, yes.
Would it?
We're even getting a language lesson now, Peter. Very good.
It's as much as I know. Now, a goal for Fiorentina. 2 goals, in fact, so they've turned that one round against Cagliari. It's Batistuta, the Argentine, and Di Mauro, the 2 goals there for Fiorentina, who were a goal down to Cagliari. Inter still a goal up at home, and Lazio are 2 up. Inter playing Pescara and Lazio at home to Udinese. Udinese, who beat Torino last week, first defeat in 7 games. Won by Beret. Rycart to Albertini. Now then for Sati. Costacurta. Territory conceded again by Torino. Just sitting back, Boban. Needed a quality cross, and Oniy with the header away. Then Casagrande just thumping it upfield. There's nobody up there. Don't think the crowd were too pleased with that.
I talk about first touch a lot on this Italian programme, Peter. That ball from Costacurta was killed. It was like a slumberland mattress by Boban. It's brilliant control on the chest.
Sati now pouring forward. Boban with the cross in, almost reached Hullet. Costacurta. Here's Boban, getting a lot of service down this right side now. Switching out wide since Hullet came on. Hullet playing a more central role. Fortunato. The pressure is all on Torino. This is Hullet now taking the throw. Seems we've got a fairly free roll, really, Ray, since he's come on.
Yes, that's right. I think on many occasions we've seen Hullet play. He does seem to have been restricted quite a bit, and a player of his talent, he's actually gone into the centre of the side and playing like a very good centre forward.
Racy. Driven, though, straight into a teammate with 15 minutes to go. Tini, the foot was high on Venturin, acknowledged by the Milan player. Free kick then to Torino. Again, totally wasted though.
It is poor when you consider the surface that they're playing on. He's under no pressure whatsoever, and he just boots the ball into the arms of Rossi with, you know, it wasn't a mistake of a couple of yards, it was a mistake of 20 or so yards, and that's poor.
Sergio Casagrande. Fortunato lost it to Boban. Rycart now, Beret. Off goes Latini. Policed by Sotil.
I think the thing with Torino, the reason they don't go out and attack more is because they have had a little bit of success. They're lying in 4th place before today's game, and therefore they honestly feel that they're having a successful season. That's cup away for Torino, and if they qualify, they'll be absolutely delighted. So they don't change their style; they just defend and hope to hit teams on the break.
And Oniy. This is Rijkaard now. Looking for Massaro. Maldini. Rijkaard wanting support. Found it with Costacurta. It's an excellent pass to Boban. Still Milan capped in the Torino half. To Sati's cross, and Oniy heads it clear. Only as far as Costacurta. Still Torino having to defend. Hullet.
Now that was a difference between Hullet and Latini. Hullet gets up, he wins the header. It's not a good header towards goal, but it's up in the air. But his first thing he wants to do is keep the ball in the penalty area. And he tried very hard to keep the ball in the box, so defenders can't touch him.
Excellent pass then by Albertini. Here's Massaro. Milan on the rampage again, and Oniy just managing to reach it. Sergio, well, Boban challenging hard, and the referee says unfairly.
That's a poor refereeing decision. Boban just comes in with his chest onto the ball, and Sergio taking his time there. He should have gone to the ball and got it down on the ground, but Boban harshly done by him.
Certainly no question of a foot up. And Boban adjudged the offender. Here's Sordo to Oniy. Route 1 towards Casagrande, who had wandered offside, along with Aguilera, who had a consoling pat on the head then from Beret. Montonico, the coach, looking rather bemused. Rijkaard striding forward. Cut out though by Sergio. Aguilera. Busi, oh, neat piece of skill there. He's away from Maldini. Exquisitely done. Busi. Just took it too far. Venture in. Here's a chance. And it's scrambled away.
Was a great chance. Venturing, getting on the end of it, and Costacurta in the finish. There's Maldini making a pretty poor attempt to clear it, and Costacurta gets in a great last-ditch tackle to push it wide for the corner.
It was a terrific block led by Costacurta, and it certainly saved his team. Busi injured here. It was Busi who made the break down the right, hoping to fashion the chance. I thought he'd taken it too far, but the ball falling for Venturin.
It's great play from Busi. He sold Maldini a tremendous dummy and left him 10 yards on the floor behind him.
Not too many players get the better of Maldini.
No, we spoke earlier, Peter, about the fact that Torino have only conceded 19 goals, but the real fact of the matter is they've only scored 27. And I think after watching them today, you can't wonder at it either.
Well, here's a young man they hope will score some goals for them, maybe today, maybe in the future. Paolo Poggi. And he is going to replace Busi, who has been injured. 10 minutes to make a name for himself.
He's done a good job, Busi, as well. He's played opposite Maldini down the left-hand side, or should I say his right-hand side, and he stopped Maldini coming forward on a number of occasions, and he's had a good match.
I think the referee has spotted the substitution. Trying to draw his attention to it. Poggi, who's played instead of Aguilera for one match against Ancona and scored the only goal of the game. A couple of goals, very promising. Came in November from his hometown club of Venezia. Sordo, Milan defender streaming out. Beret had stayed back. Bruno's header.
It did come streaming out, but I think as soon as Beret realised that Torino had good possession of the ball, he just held his ground, Peter, and that was, again, first-class defending on his behalf.
Poggi to Aguilera. Rycart. Rycart again. Beret forward. Pull it. Pulled away from Oniy. Boban now. Latini and Hullet in the middle. Latini, that would have been a spectacular strike. Massaro was behind him, might have made better, might have done better with it. Beret lashing up then at Aguilera. Off goes Sordo. Beret very firmly then on Aguilera.
They've had a right old tussle this afternoon. That's about the full time. He got a bit of a glare there, Beret from Aguilera. That's been a good contest.
Two temperamental players. Aguilera is now a bit pulled back for the foul, and he is so incensed.
And quite rightly so as well. He's been hard done by this afternoon, Aguilera. He's made a number of very good challenges on defenders, and the referee's blown up in favour of Milan. But he's worked hard for the team, Aguilera, and he can feel very hard done by.
Now Rijkaard. And Oniy couldn't get his challenge in though effectively. Boban. Here's to Sati. Costacurta. Well won though by Bruno. Bruno, who was saying on the Gazetta programme yesterday that he may still well end up at Manchester City next season. Albertini's shot driven through. Had a short spell there, a kind of trial a little while back, but nothing seemed to have come of it. But he says himself, Bruno, that the possibility of going to Main Road isn't over.
It's nice to hear as well. It's nice to hear that someone like Manchester City, a big club in our country, can even think of bringing the likes of Bruno to England. He's a super defender, and I'm sure he would grace our Premier League.
Off goes Latini, away from Casagrande. And then, well, just plucked out of the air by Accusation, with Hullet in there lurking again.
Again, choosing to go down the left-hand side, and he had the opportunity, I think, as soon as he got past the last defender, he had the opportunity to duck inside on his better right side, but he was holding on to the ball and had to go in on the left, which is quite a shame because he looks a very talented player when he goes on his right side, Latini.
Ruben Sosa has scored a second goal, I'm being told now, for Inter. That's against Pescara. It's his 12th of the season. Pescara, the bottom club, Inter in second place. So it's 2-0 to Inter. It's also still 2-0 to Lazio at home to Udinese. 5 minutes to go. Torino 1, Milan 1. And it's Costacurta. Finding Hullet. He's only found Aguilera though. Strong challenge and a fair one, says the referee, by Costacurta on Aguilera, who appeals in vain to the heavens. Not much sympathy there either. But this time the free kick has been given, and in favour of Milan, as Latini, ploughing his way through, is brought down.
Well, there he was. He dipped to go out on the outside, dipped inside, and there he was. He was clear on goal, apart from the tackle there. He could have played a 1-2 off Hullet, who was facing up to him. But that was better from Latini, a lot more positive.
So a chance for Milan. Boban maybe to strike one from here. Rycart nearby, but not showing too much interest. This is Boban, who is pretty lethal from long range. Not this time. Julio Cesar has put Juventus ahead. That's away to Ancona, the Brazilian defender. Julio Cesar. No goals in the Genoa derby. Genoa against Sampdoria, Des Walker's team, although Des, of course, away on England duty.
That's very unusual as well. That really is normally a humdinger of a match, the Genoa derby. That really is a great occasion.
Up goes Hullet with Oniy. Hopeful one forward. Aguilera no real chance of reaching it. Rossi, who's had so little to do, particularly in the second half, with Milan on the attack. Aguilera, nothing's going right for him today. A rueful smile.
Now, the referee could have allowed that to go on, but what I think he's done, he's called that up as he's had a few run-ins with Aguilera. I'm sure the next occasion we'll see another yellow card be presented. He's just letting him know, I think that's his last opportunity.
This, just to remind you, the man who sent off Paul Gascoigne recently. Costacurta. Couple of minutes to go, plus injury time. On from Hullet. And Oniy is there. Now Massaro back to fetch. Here's Beret. It's good play then by Latini. Just lost his marker. And a dreadful cross. Well, that's got the crowd whistling.
It's the same, sorry, Peter, it was the same turn he did on Bruno in the first half. Going towards the ball, lets it run across his body, and there's the grin coming out from Latini there. He actually appears to have enjoyed himself this afternoon for about the first time this season.
Well, he says himself he's not homesick. That was one of the reasons given for his poor form. But it's not that far from Turin to Milan. Hullet with the header. Now then for Maldini. Bruno. Chased. Maybe fouled by Latini. Latini's got it back again. And in towards Hullet. Oh, what a miss! Well, fury among the Torino defenders that the chance was able to be created like that. But what a missed opportunity then by Roode Hullet.
Well, that's is quite unbelievable, Peter, that. We've got Hullet coming in there. Great ball from Latini on his right foot. And there's Hullet, I think, wanting to put a bit too much power and actually break the back of the net. If you see down on his right-hand side, he could have just placed it to the floor. And that would have been surely the victory for Milan, but Hullet will be disgusted with himself. But I think going back to Latini, you get enormous satisfaction from producing the goods, as he did there. When he's playing on that left-hand side, he very, very rarely produces the goods with that left foot. And therefore, I think he's not really been enjoying his football because he really hasn't produced quality football.
Well, it's all over, and right at the death there, a squandered opportunity by Roode Hullet that really should have won it for Milan. But as it is, they have to settle for the draw. Torino won. Busi after only 2 minutes.